I still remember the way my graduation cap felt in my hands that morning. Heavy with 4 years of sleepless nights, part-time jobs, and dreams finally coming true. I was the first in my family to graduate college. Biochemistry magna cum laude. My name would be called in 3 hours. Hey family. Hit that subscribe button, drop a hello in the comments, and tell us where in the world you're listening from. Alright, let's continue the story. Mama, you sure y'all coming? I asked for the 10th time, adjusting my cap in the mirror. The ceremony started at 2 and parking would be crazy. Of course, baby. We wouldn't miss it for the world, she said, but something in her voice felt distant. Your daddy's just finishing up some work. I'd bought them the good seats, $40 each, right up front where they could see everything. I'd even made a special program highlighting my name so they wouldn't miss the moment. This was it. This was supposed to be our moment. My phone buzzed. A text from my younger sister Karen. Mama said they might be a little late. Don't worry, they'll make it. A little late. The ceremony was 3 hours long, but still. I'd been talking about this day for months. I'd sent them the invitation, the parking instructions, even bought Mama a new dress for the occasion. Standing in that tiny apartment bathroom looking at myself in my cap and gown, I felt this strange mix of pride and anxiety. 4 years of ramen noodles and library nights had led to this moment. I was about to become the first college graduate in the Houston family. But something felt off. The house was too quiet. Usually, on important days, Mama would be bustling around making sure everyone looked perfect. Today felt different. I grabbed my keys and headed to campus, telling myself they'd be there. They had to be. The auditorium was packed. Families everywhere holding balloons, flowers, cameras ready. I scanned the section where my parents should be sitting. Row F, seats 12 and 13. My roommate Jessica's whole family was there. Parents, grandparents, even her little brother holding a "Congrats, Jess" sign. He squeezed my hand. They'll be here, she whispered. But as the ceremony began, those seats stayed empty. The dean started calling names alphabetically. I was in the J's. We were getting close. My phone vibrated. A text from Mama. Running behind, sweetie. Save us a seat at the restaurant after. Save them a seat at the restaurant? They were missing the actual ceremony for dinner? My stomach dropped. 4 years of sacrifice and they couldn't even show up on time. Jackson Maria, the dean called. My heart pounded. Jefferson Troy. Getting closer. I kept looking at those empty seats. Around me, families cheered as their graduates walked across the stage. The sound echoed through the massive auditorium, but all I could hear was the silence from row F. Houston Linda. That was me. I stood up, legs shaking. This was supposed to be the moment my parents saw their daughter achieve what they never could. The moment they realized all their sacrifices, working double shifts, skipping vacations, eating mac and cheese so I could buy textbooks, had been worth it. I walked across that stage to scattered applause from strangers. Jessica screamed my name from the audience, but the voices I needed to hear weren't there. As I shook the dean's hand and accepted my diploma, I looked one more time at those empty seats and felt something break inside my chest. At dinner they finally showed up. Mama wore the dress I'd bought her and Daddy had on his good shirt. They were all smiles, acting like nothing happened. Congratulations, baby girl. Daddy boomed, pulling me into a hug. We're so proud of you. You missed the ceremony, I said quietly. We know, honey, but we're here now. Tell us everything. Mama sat down, looking around the restaurant like she hadn't just missed the most important moment of my life. Where were you? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Mama and Daddy exchanged a look. Well, you know your sister had that hair appointment today. The girl she usually goes to was booked solid, but then this other stylist had a cancellation. A hair appointment? I stared at them. You missed my graduation for Karen's hair appointment. Now Linda, don't be dramatic, Daddy said. It wasn't just any appointment. She's got that job interview Monday and you know how important first impressions are. I felt like I was underwater. What job interview? At that marketing firm downtown. Real good money, benefits and everything. She needed to look perfect. My chest got tight. Karen had been job hunting for months since dropping out of community college. I understood it was important, but today was supposed to be about me. But this was my graduation, I whispered. And we're celebrating now. Mama said brightly, opening her menu. This is nice, isn't it? Much better than sitting in those uncomfortable auditorium seats for 3 hours. The waiter came over and they ordered like nothing was wrong. Like they hadn't just prioritized a hair appointment over their daughter's college graduation. I sat there in my cap and gown, diploma in my lap, feeling completely invisible. Later that night, Karen knocked on my bedroom door. I was still in my graduation gown, staring at my diploma. "Linda? Can I come in?" "It's open." She sat on my bed looking guilty. Her hair did look amazing. Perfectly styled waves that probably cost more than my textbooks. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. "For what? Getting your hair done? Having a job interview? Being the priority? You don't understand." Karen's voice cracked. "I didn't ask them to miss your graduation. I told them to go." I looked at her. "What do you mean?" "The appointment was at 10 this morning. I was done by noon. I told Mama and Daddy they had plenty of time to make it to your ceremony." He was crying now. "They chose not to go, Linda. They said college graduations are long and boring, and they'd rather just meet us at dinner." The room went silent except for my heart pounding in my ears. "They lied to me," I whispered. "I'm so sorry. I tried to convince them. I even offered to reschedule, but Mama said you'd understand because you're the responsible one, who doesn't need as much attention." The responsible one. The one who worked 2 jobs to pay for school. The one who never asked for help. The one who was supposed to understand when everyone else came first. "They've been planning this for weeks," Karen continued. "They made dinner reservations before they even RSVP'd to your graduation. They never intended to go to the ceremony." I felt something shift inside me. All my life I'd been the easy child. The one who didn't cause problems. The one who quietly achieved while everyone else got the attention. But this was different. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept replaying every major moment of my life and suddenly, patterns emerged like puzzle pieces clicking into place. My high school graduation. They were late because Karen had a crisis with her prom dress. My academic awards ceremony junior year. They couldn't come because Karen's boyfriend was meeting the family that night. When I made Dean's List every semester, a quick, "Good job, honey," before launching into discussions about Karen's problems. Even smaller moments. When I got my first job at 16, Mama's response was, "That's nice, baby. Now you can help Karen with her car payments." I'd always told myself it was because I was independent. Because I didn't need as much support as Karen. But lying there in my childhood bedroom, still in my graduation dress, I realized the truth. I hadn't needed less support. I'd just never demanded it. My phone lit up with notifications. Facebook posts from classmates with their families, Instagram stories of celebration dinners, everyone sharing their graduation joy. I scrolled through dozens of photos of parents crying with pride, siblings holding congratulatory signs. Then I saw Jessica's post, a photo of me walking across the stage alone, cap and gown perfect, head held high despite the empty seats. Her caption read, "Proud of my roommate for showing such grace today. Some people don't know what they're missing." The comments broke my heart. "Where's her family? She looks so beautiful but so sad. I can't believe she walked alone." I screenshot that photo. I looked at myself, really looked. Even alone, even heartbroken, I looked strong. I looked like someone who'd earned that diploma. For the first time I felt angry. The next morning I found my parents in the kitchen, drinking coffee like nothing had happened. Daddy was reading the paper. Mama was scrolling through her phone. "We need to talk," I said, still wearing yesterday's clothes. "Morning, baby. You want some coffee?" Mama asked without looking up. "You lied to me." That got their attention. Daddy folded his paper. Mama set down her phone. "Excuse me." Daddy's voice carried a warning. "Karen told me. Her appointment was at 10. She was done by noon. You chose not to come to my graduation." Silence filled the kitchen like smoke. "Now, Linda," Mama started, "don't listen to your sister when she's feeling guilty. Stop." My voice was stronger than I'd ever heard it. "Just stop lying." Daddy stood up. "You better watch your tone, young lady. Or what? You'll miss another milestone in my life?" "Oh wait, you already do that." "That's enough." Mama snapped. "We raised you better than this. We're your parents. We don't have to explain our decisions to you. You don't have to explain missing the most important day of my life." You don't have to explain why a hair appointment was more important than watching your daughter become the first college graduate in this family. Don't be so dramatic, Daddy said. It's just a ceremony. You still got your degree. Just a ceremony. 4 years of my life reduced to just a ceremony. Do you know what I sacrificed for this degree? I asked, my voice shaking. Do you know how many nights I worked until 2 a.m. then got up for 8 a.m. classes? How many times I ate peanut butter sandwiches for 3 days straight because I spent my food money on textbooks? They looked uncomfortable. And you couldn't sacrifice 3 hours to watch me walk across that stage. You've always been independent, Linda, Mama said, trying to soften her tone. You don't need us the way Karen does. That line. That damn line they'd used my whole life to justify putting me last. I needed you yesterday, I said, tears starting. I needed my parents to be proud enough to show up. We are proud, Daddy said. We just showed it by going to brunch instead? By making dinner reservations before you even knew if you'd attend my ceremony? Their faces went pale. Karen had told me everything. How did you? Mama started. Does it matter? The point is, you planned to skip my graduation from the beginning. You used Karen's appointment as an excuse, but you never intended to come. The kitchen felt smaller suddenly. 22 years of being the easy child, the understanding one, the one who never made waves. And where had it gotten me? We thought you'd understand, Mama whispered. Understand what? That I matter less than everyone else in this family? That my achievements aren't worth celebrating? That's not. When Karen dropped out of college, you threw a party when she got her first retail job. When I graduated magna cum laude from a 4-year university, you couldn't be bothered to show up. Daddy tried to interrupt, but I wasn't finished. I have been understanding my entire life. I understood when my birthday parties got canceled because Karen had drama. I understood when my achievements got overshadowed by her problems. I understood when you spent my college fund on her car because she needed it more. Linda, I'm done understanding. The words hung in the air like a declaration of war. For the first time in my life, I saw my parents look truly uncomfortable. Good. That afternoon my phone rang. It was my grandmother, Mama's mother, calling from 2 states away. Baby girl, I saw the photos from your graduation online. I'm so proud of you. Thank you, Grandmama. Where were your parents in those pictures? I don't see them anywhere. I hesitated. My grandmother was 85 and had strong opinions about family loyalty. They had something else that day. Silence. Then, something else? More important than your college graduation. Grandmama, I don't want to cause problems. Child, tell me what happened. So I did. I told her everything. The empty seats, the lies, Karen's hair appointment, the planned dinner reservations. When I finished, the silence stretched so long I thought the call had dropped. Grandmama. I'm here, baby. I'm trying to understand how I raised a daughter who could do something like this. Please don't blame Mama. Don't you dare defend her right now, Linda. Do you know what I did to attend your mama's high school graduation? I worked double shifts for 2 weeks to afford a bus ticket. I sat in that auditorium for 4 hours with a broken toe because nothing was going to keep me from seeing my daughter walk across that stage. Her voice was shaking with anger. And she couldn't drive 20 minutes to watch her own daughter graduate from college? They said it was just a ceremony. Just a ceremony? Grandmama's voice rose. Baby girl, that ceremony represented everything your family has fought for. Education was the one thing they couldn't take from us. And your parents treated it like it didn't matter. I started crying again. I'm booking a flight, she said firmly. We're having a family meeting. 3 days later, Grandmama walked into our house like a force of nature. At 85, she still commanded every room she entered. Where are they? She asked me, setting down her purse. Living room. She nodded and marched in. I followed, knowing this was about to get intense. Mama jumped up. Mama, what are you doing here? You didn't tell us you were coming. Sit down, Lisa. Grandmama's voice was ice cold. My parents sat. I'd never seen them look so small. I came to see if I raised my daughter right. Looks like I didn't. Mama, what's this about? Daddy asked. You know exactly what this is about, Robert. You skipped your daughter's college graduation for a hair appointment. Now that's not, Mama started. Don't you dare lie to me. Grandmama pulled out her phone. I called that salon. Spoke to the girl who did Karen's hair. The appointment was at 10 a.m. She was done by 11:30. The graduation started at 2 p.m. My parents looked at each other, caught. You want to tell me again how you couldn't make it? The room was silent except for the clock ticking on the wall. I worked in cotton fields so your daddy could go to high school, Grandmama continued, her voice steady but deadly. He worked 2 jobs so you could finish high school. You worked nights so Karen could go to community college. And when Linda, the first person in this family to graduate from a 4-year university, walked across that stage, where were you? Mama. At a restaurant making reservations, planning how to avoid watching your daughter achieve what generations of our family could only dream of. I'd never seen my grandmother this angry. Do you know what Linda's great-great-grandmother would have given to see her family get an education? She died not being able to read her own name. Grandmama sat down heavily, suddenly looking every one of her 85 years. Lisa, I need you to listen to me. Really listen. Mama nodded, tears starting. Your great-grandmother Ruby worked in tobacco fields from age 7. She never learned to read. When your grandmother was born, Ruby made a promise that her daughter would get an education no matter what. I'd heard bits of this story but never the full version. Your grandmother walked 5 miles to school every day because Ruby couldn't afford the bus fare. She graduated 8th grade, the first in our family to make it that far. Then she married your grandfather and had me. Grandmama's voice got softer. I was the first to graduate high school. I worked 3 jobs to put your daddy through school. He was the first to get some college. You finished high school when it seemed impossible after having Karen so young. She looked at me. And Linda. Linda became the first to graduate college. 4 years. Magna cum laude. Biochemistry. He turned back to my parents. Do you understand what that means? Every generation of our family sacrificed so the next generation could go further. And when Linda crossed the finish line, when she achieved what Ruby could only dream of, you weren't there. The weight of family history settled in the room like dust. You broke a chain that started before you were even born, Grandmama whispered. Mama was sobbing now. Daddy looked sick. But Karen needed, Mama tried. Karen is not the only child in this family. Grandmama's voice cracked like a whip. And even if she was, a hair appointment does not trump a college graduation. We didn't think. No, he didn't think. You took Linda for granted because she never demanded attention. Because she quietly achieved while you focused on Karen's drama. The truth hit like lightning in that living room. I want to understand something, Grandmama continued, leaning forward. Help me understand how you justified this. My parents looked at each other like scared children. Karen has always needed more support, Mama began. More support or more attention? Grandmama cut her off. She struggles more than Linda. She's not as naturally smart. So you punished Linda for being capable? That's not what we did, Daddy said weakly. Then explain it to me, Robert. Explain how missing your daughter's college graduation makes sense. We thought she'd understand. Because she always understands. Because she never complains when you put her last. The silence was deafening. Let me tell you something about that girl, Grandmama said, pointing at me. Do you know she called me crying at 2 a.m. last semester? She was working 2 jobs, taking 18 credit hours and surviving on crackers and peanut butter because she didn't want to ask you for money. My parents looked shocked. I'd never told them how hard things got. She didn't want to burden you because she knew you were helping Karen with her car payments, her rent, her credit card debt. We didn't know, Mama whispered. You didn't know because you didn't ask. When was the last time you asked Linda how she was doing? Really asked. They couldn't answer. I'll tell you when. It was never. You assumed she was fine because she never complained. You assumed her achievements came easy because she made them look easy. Grandmama stood up. That girl sacrificed her social life, her health, her financial stability to make something of herself. And when she reached the mountaintop, you were getting your nails done. It was a hair appointment, Daddy corrected weakly. I don't care if it was brain surgery. You don't miss your child's college graduation. The force of her words made everyone flinch. What do you want from us? Mama asked through her tears. I want you to understand what you did, Grandmama said. I want you to feel it in your bones. She walked over to the mantel and picked up a photo of Karen from her high school graduation. A photo where the whole family was beaming with pride. This photo exists because you showed up. You were proud. You celebrated. Then she pulled out her phone and showed them Jessica's photo of me walking across the stage alone. This photo exists because you didn't. The contrast was devastating. In Karen's photo, love filled every face. In mine, I looked strong but heartbreakingly alone. Do you see the difference? Grandmom asked. Do you see what you chose? We can make it up to her, Daddy said desperately. How? Are you going to give her back that moment? Are you going to erase the memory of walking across that stage to empty seats? We'll throw her a party. She didn't want a party. She wanted her parents to witness her achievement. Grandmama sat back down looking exhausted. I'm not telling you this to be cruel. I'm telling you this because you need to understand the magnitude of what you did. You didn't just miss an event. You told your daughter that her life's biggest achievement wasn't worth your time. That's not what we meant, Mama sobbed. Intent doesn't matter when the impact is this devastating. She looked at me. Linda has spent her whole life being the strong one, the understanding one, the one who doesn't need anything. But she needed you that day. She needed her parents to be proud enough to show up. We are proud, Daddy insisted. Then why wasn't that enough to get you to her graduation? He had no answer. Pride without action is just words, Grandmama said sadly. And words don't fill empty seats. The next morning, I found my parents at the kitchen table with a box between them. They looked like they hadn't slept. Linda, honey, sit down, Mama said softly. I sat still, wary. We've been up all night talking, Daddy said. Your grandmother. She helped us see things differently. They pushed the box toward me. Inside were photo albums, documents, and a thick envelope. We've been saving for your graduate school, Mama said. We never told you because we wanted it to be a surprise. I opened the envelope. Bank statements showed years of small deposits. They'd been saving for my future education since I started college. We've been so focused on putting out fires with Karen that we forgot to celebrate the daughter who never needed rescuing, Daddy said, his voice cracking. But that's just it, I said, looking up at them. I did need rescuing. I needed you to rescue me from feeling invisible in my own family. We know, Mama whispered. And we can't undo what we did. But we want to do better. They showed me the photo albums, pictures of every academic achievement, every award, every moment of success I'd had. They'd been documenting it all, even if they hadn't been celebrating it properly. We see you, Linda, Daddy said. We've always seen you. We just took you for granted because you made everything look so easy. It wasn't easy, I said. I just didn't want to add to your burdens. You were never a burden, Mama said firmly. You were the light of this family, and we dimmed it by not giving you the attention you deserved. I felt something shifting in my chest. Not forgiveness exactly, but understanding. I don't know how to trust you again, I said honestly. We'll earn it back, Daddy promised. However long it takes. Looking at them, really looking, I saw two people who had made a terrible mistake but were genuinely devastated by the consequences. They couldn't give me back that graduation day, but they were offering me something else. A chance to be seen, celebrated, and prioritized in my own family. I graduated magna cum laude, I said quietly. We know, Mama said, tears streaming. And we're so incredibly proud of you. For the first time in my life, I believed them. Not because of their words, but because I finally understood my own worth. With or without their validation. The girl who walked across that stage alone had been stronger than she knew. And she was strong enough now to choose healing over resentment. Some stories don't have perfect endings. But sometimes they have true ones. My friends are split on this. Half say I'm a hero, half say I was petty. What's the verdict from you guys? Did I handle this like an adult or not?